Anonymity is a mask. And for 19-year-old Ava, that mask let her inner monster out to play. From the digital throne of her anonymous social media account, Suburbia Rose, she passed judgment on the unsuspecting world below. Her weapons were witty, sarcastic, and brutally cruel takedowns of local people and places. Her currency was controversy, and the digital applause of likes and laughing emoji reactions was the only sound that made her feel powerful. She was a ghost in the machine, untouchable, unaccountable, and utterly addicted to the chaos she created. Her latest target was a new, struggling coffee shop in town called The Daily Grind, run by a young, hopeful couple who had poured their life savings into the venture. Ava had visited once, not for the coffee, but for the content. She saw their earnest, slightly mismatched furniture, and their nervous smiles, not as charming, but as pathetic. It was perfect ammunition. That night, in the solitary darkness of her bedroom, she crafted her masterpiece. The clatter of her keyboard was the sound of a guillotine being sharpened. She wove a long, scathing post of clever but brutal jokes, mocking the sad, thrift store decor and ridiculing the desperate to please owners. Then, for the finishing touch, the poisoned cherry on top of her sundae of slander, she completely fabricated a story about finding a hair in her latte. She hit post and felt a venomous thrill as the likes and shares rolled in, a surge of power that came from knowing her anonymous words could make or break a real-world dream. Her post didn't just go viral, it went supernova. The next day, the fallout was devastating. The town's community Facebook page was buzzing with Ava's anonymous review. People were laughing, canceling their plans to visit, and piling on with their own jokes. The cafe's online rating plummeted. The owners, a young couple named Sarah and Tom, posted a heartbreaking response, pleading that the review was untrue and that it was destroying their dream before it even had a chance to start. Ava's mother, Mrs. Thompson, a florist who understood the struggle of a small business, saw the drama unfolding online. Her heart broke for the young couple. "It's just so cruel," she said to Ava at dinner. "To hide behind a screen and try to tear down someone's livelihood like that." Ava, not thinking, just shrugged. "Yeah, it was pretty savage, right?" she said with a small laugh, a flicker of pride in her eyes. "But kind of funny." Her mother paused, a fork halfway to her mouth. There was a particular unusual word Ava had used, savage, that was identical to a line in the anonymous post. A tiny seed of suspicion was planted in Mrs. Thompson's mind. It seemed impossible, but the thought lingered. Later that evening, after Ava had gone to bed, her mother, unable to shake the feeling, walked over to the family's desktop computer. She wasn't a spy, but a mother's intuition is a powerful force. She opened the web browser. The history was the usual mix of YouTube and college websites. But then she saw it, a social media login page she didn't recognize, for an account named Suburbia Rose. Her heart pounding, she clicked. The browser had saved the password. The page loaded, and there it was, a dashboard showing all the posts, the analytics, the likes, and at the very top, the cruel viral post about the daily grind. Mrs. Thompson stared at the screen, the witty, venomous words written by her own daughter. The pride she felt in Ava's cleverness curdled into a sickening sense of shame and disappointment. Her daughter, her bright, funny daughter, was a secret, anonymous bully. She didn't confront her that night. She just stood there in the quiet darkness of the study, the glow of the screen illuminating the truth. She closed the laptop, her mind already formulating a plan. This was not a problem that could be solved with grounding or taking away a phone. This required a lesson in reality, a lesson in consequences, a lesson her daughter would never forget. She walked toward Ava's room, a look of steely, heartbroken resolve on her face, and knocked on the door. Ava was scrolling through the comments on her latest post when her mother knocked and entered. Mrs. Thompson's face was calm, her expression unreadable, which immediately put Ava on high alert. "Ava," her mother began, her voice even. "I was just reading about that poor new coffee shop, The Daily Grind. Such a shame what's happening to them." She paused, her eyes searching her daughter's. "The person who wrote that post is quite the writer. Very savage." The word hung in the air between them. Ava's blood ran cold. She knew instantly that she had been caught. She tried to lie, to feign ignorance, but her mother simply held up a hand. "I saw the account, Ava. On the computer. I saw everything." The denial died on Ava's lips, replaced by a wave of hot, suffocating shame. Her shield of anonymity had been shattered. "This is not a joke," her mother continued, her voice still quiet but now filled with a powerful disappointment. "This is not a prank. These are real people, with real savings and real dreams. Your words, your witty little post, could bankrupt them. Anonymity doesn't make you clever, Ava. It makes you a coward." "Mom, I'm sorry," Ava whispered, tears welling in her eyes. "I didn't think." "No, you didn't think," her mother agreed. "You just wanted the likes. You wanted the attention. Well, now you are going to get some real, unfiltered, face-to-face attention. Here is your punishment." She laid out the terms, and they were far worse than anything Ava could have imagined. "First, you will bring me your phone, and we will delete that account permanently. Second, you are grounded for a month, but you will not be staying home. Tomorrow morning, you and I are going to the daily grind. You are going to confess to the owners, Tom and Sarah, that you wrote the post, and you are going to apologize to their faces." Ava stared at her, horrified. "I can't. They'll hate me." "They probably will," her mother said. "And you will have to stand there and accept it. But that's not all. You will then offer to work for them for free every weekend for the next 2 months. You will wash their dishes. You will clean their tables. You will mop their floors. You will see firsthand the hard work that you so easily mocked. And you will have to face every single customer who comes in, the very community you tried to poison against them. That is your consequence. To undo the damage you did, 1 cup of coffee at a time." The next morning was the most humiliating of Ava's life. She stood before the young couple, her mother standing silently behind her, and confessed. She saw the look of hurt and betrayal in their eyes. Tom's jaw was tight with anger. Sarah just looked heartbroken. After a long, painful silence, Tom finally spoke. "If you're serious about making this right," he said, his voice cold, "be here at M tomorrow. The floors need mopping." The following weeks were a trial by fire. Ava traded her keyboard for a mop, her clever remarks for a quiet, "Can I take your order?" People from town recognized her. Some whispered, some glared, but she did the work. She scrubbed, she cleaned, she served. And in the process, she got to know Tom and Sarah. She saw them come in before dawn and leave long after dark. She saw their passion, their kindness, their resilience. The turning point came a month into her sentence. A new, nasty anonymous review appeared online, this time from a real disgruntled customer. Ava, without being asked, went to her personal social media account, the one with her real name and face, and wrote a long, heartfelt post. She publicly confessed to writing the original fake review, explained the punishment her mother had given her, and then wrote about what she had learned working at the cafe for the past month. She wrote about Tom and Sarah's incredible work ethic, the amazing quality of their coffee, and the kindness they had shown her even after she had tried to destroy them. Her post went even more viral than the first one. People were touched by her honesty and the owner's grace. The community, seeing the real story, rallied around the cafe. Business boomed. On her last day of work, Tom and Sarah sat her down. "We want to thank you," Sarah said, a genuine smile on her face. "And we'd like to offer you a real, paying job, if you want it." Ava smiled, tears in her eyes. She politely declined but promised to be their most loyal customer. As she walked home, she realized she had learned the most valuable lesson of her life. It was easy to be a critic, to tear things down from the safety of the shadows. But it took real character, real strength, to build something up, to face the consequences, and to turn a cruel joke into a second chance. The anonymous life was over, and for the first time, she was proud to be seen.